Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and if you missed my first review of one of these really cool Prismatic Brush Art models, then first of all I want to suggest that you go watch the other review, but secondly I also wanted to tell you again that these are really cool little models made from polymer clay that were created by Fiona, who runs the Prismatic Brush Art line, and in this line she kind of creates really cool different dinosaur figures, and during the month of June she's going to be creating lots of different dinosaur figures for Jurassic June. You know, you follow along on her YouTube channel, you'll see all of the really cool videos that she posts continuously creating dinosaur figures in this style, and we have a second here to take a look at today, which as you can quite clearly see is an adorable little Velociraptor Blue, or I guess maybe you could even say Velociraptor Beta. That's really up to you because they would both technically look pretty much the same, I would say. But this is my second model from the Prismatic Brush Art line, and a much smaller model this time around, whereas we had a Dilophosaurus before. Now we are taking a look at a Velociraptor. So let's go ahead and jump straight to a closer look at this right now. So starting up here at the head sculpt of our little Velociraptor, you can see a really nice stylized head sculpt. Again, pretty much following that same style that Fiona has. She has her very own unique style, and of course, straight away, another thing you'll probably take note to, and it's probably one of the most defining aspects to the head sculpt, is the fact that we have that glass eye type look, so you can see how the eyes will follow you, again, helping to add a nice element of realism to the model, and you can see how the detail on the insides of the eyes as well looks really nice, really realistic. So love that look. I love that aspect. Absolutely adore anytime glass eyes are used on dinosaur models, and we have that very nicely here on this Velociraptor. You can also see that we have the nostrils sculpted out. They are highlighted with a little bit of a different shade of a brown. You can see that there is some nice paintwork applied to the mouth to kind of define the mouth. We have like a brownish coloration in there, and she has done a great job of adding some really nice naturalistic tones of color to this figure. And you can of course see here, looking at the face, that we have kind of like a light tan for the majority of the face, but we have this really cool brown speckling that's very similar to what we saw on the Dilophosaurus, and it just pops so nicely here, but is so subtle with the way it is applied. And you can see that it runs all the way down here on the lower jaw as well. Really, really nice, very appealing looking paintwork, adding some beautiful realism to the figure. And you can see up here on the top of the head, straight away you can take note of the really nice scale detail that's up here. But you can see that we have a darker variation of a gray, again a very Velociraptor bluish type of a gray. And you can see that here as we run down the course of the back of the figure. We've got some really nice scales running down the back of the figure, but you also have, again, a few different variations of grays, and there's actually like some light hints of blues picking up through the course of the figure. You can really see the bluish tones here running along the back of the tail. Super nice looking coloration. Then, being a Velociraptor Blue, or again Beta, type of a hatchling style figure, you do have that classic blue stripe here running along the course of the Velociraptor on both sides, and you can see that we have the blue nicely outlined with that white, and it also has almost a little slight hint of a glossy type of a look, so the blue stripe really stands out, and you can see the pink goes from the eye all the way out here onto the tail as well. As you lead down here into the body here, again, you have that lighter tone for the front and underside of the Velociraptor. You can also see the hands are sculpted really nicely in almost like a playful type of a position here in front of the dinosaur. You can see the arms are sculpted quite nicely. Leading down, we have that same similar style of coloration as we have like that lighter, off-white coloration. And then we have that kind of very, very subtle inclusion of those browns running down into the hands, and then you have some nicely painted nails with a black. There's also some brown that seems to have been applied to the nails as well, and you have that same type of a look for the legs, but this time the dinosaur almost is in like I would say like a squatting position, but maybe more so like the legs are just kind of spread apart, like maybe he was standing and the legs just slid out, and now he's kind of squatting down, which is very baby-like, really adorable appearance for the figure. I definitely like that as well. And you can see again that we have that same style of paintwork leading down the course of the leg with the variations of grays leading down to the variations of like light browns and even a slightly darker shade of brown that kind of speckles through. You've got the really nicely sculpted out and painted nails. You have, of course, that classic sickle claw right there for your Velociraptor. Both legs are sculpted in pretty much the same positioning, again with the legs kind of spread out on the side of the dinosaur. And then as you lead up here, you can see the tail leads up and then curves and then points out, and you see more of that kind of speckling. You have it up here on the back of the tail with the really nice scale detail with the, again, variations of grays and even slight hints of blues. And then down here you have like a brownish speckling that runs through the course of the figure, really giving it a super lifelike look, I think, as far as the coloration goes. And the sculpt, of course, is that really neat, very stylized version that Fiona and the Prismatic Brush Art line is known for, if you ask me. Very adorable style that she has to creating these baby figures, and this is an absolutely awesome baby Velociraptor Blue that I'm really excited to enter into my collection with that fantastic Dilophosaurus that I just recently reviewed. And just like we saw in the very first review, again we have a little adoption certificate here telling us that this is Blue the Velociraptor, adopted on May 20th, 2022, and congratulations. And then yet again here on the back we have this really cool kind of a map that shows us where our dinosaur would live in the Prismatic Park. And you can see it would be in the desert and grasslands, and it is a carnivore. I love that this stuff is included. It obviously is just a really cool extra, but it shows how much Fiona cares about giving you a really cool product and giving you something memorable and fun at the same time. And then you also have this other card included. Again, you have all of the different social media outlets of Prismatic Brush. And then here on the back, you have kind of some instructions and everything to basically tell you what you should do if you happen to have any damage or any type of dirt or anything that gets stuck to your figure, basically giving you an idea as to what you should do to clean them up or fix them if you have any issues. And she also includes some super glue. I have it upside down. Some super glue or super glue to fix your dinosaur up again if you have any issues. So she really puts a lot into these releases, and again shows the love and care that she has for what she does. So there is our Velociraptor next to our Dilophosaurus, and you can see a huge difference in size between these two, but this just shows you again the range of products that she releases as far as like different sizes, different styles. There's a lot to the different models that she creates, so you could, get one of these larger versions as far as this fantastic Dilophosaurus, or one of these smaller versions as far as this baby Velociraptor. But one thing is for sure, you're going to get yourself an adorable dinosaur, an adorable baby dinosaur. And I like that she's really good at creating positions for the figures where they look like babies, like this one being all playful, laying on its back, this one kind of maybe looking like it doesn't quite have the use of its legs correctly, like it's just learning and figuring this all out, and the legs are kind of like squatted down beside it. Really cool different baby-like poses that she creates for the figures, and they look so cool together. As far as a size on our little Velociraptor, again, it is very small. For a length, you are looking at right around the just shy of about 2.5 inches, or a little over 6 centimeters. And then for a height, you are looking at a little over 1.5 inches, or a little over 4 centimeters. Not an exact measurement, but for a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our little baby Velociraptor here, and you can see how small this one is compared to these figures. Again, much smaller than the Dilophosaurus, so you have quite a bit of difference between the different versions that she creates. Maybe you want a smaller, really convenient sized model like this, or you want a little bit of a larger version like you see on the Dilophosaurus. She has quite the range of different sizes, different styles, and different dinosaurs. And not only dinosaurs, I've seen her create other things as well. But, lots of difference to her line. And hopefully these figures here in comparison will help to give you a pretty good idea of the size. And then just like I did with the Dilophosaurus, here is another size comparison with one of the Nanmu 1/35th scale human figures. We also have a minifigure Giganotosaurus from Mattel and a Captives Jurassic World Dilophosaurus next to our little Velociraptor, a baby Velociraptor from Prismatic Brush Art, and you can definitely see yet again that it is really quite small. This one particularly is much smaller than the Dilophosaurus. So these Prismatic Brush Art baby dinosaur figures are absolutely awesome. It's my very first time ever having the opportunity to check some of these out in person, and I'm really, really excited about it because they're probably some of the coolest, most adorable baby dinosaur figures I've ever seen. And yes, I like dinosaurs of all kind. It really does not matter to me. If it's a dinosaur, I am 100% interested in it. I love really cool, very accurate dinosaurs. I like movie monster style dinosaurs. And yes, I love adorable baby dinosaurs. And I don't know that they get much better than what you see here from the Prismatic Brush Art line, because Fiona has done a fantastic job of not only sculpting them out to look, like her own very cool stylized versions, but also applying really nice and actually quite realistic and pretty lifelike looking paint jobs to the figures. And on top of that, she has the added elements of realism like the really cool glass eyes. So there's definitely a lot to these figures that doesn't just make them look like adorable stylized babies. They look like, lifelike adorable stylized babies. The sculpt again looks really cute, really adorable. We have the mouth closed, almost making it look like the Velociraptor is smiling. The legs being spread apart, making it look like it actually almost looks like it literally just hatched, and now it's just fresh out of the egg, and the legs just aren't quite understanding what the dinosaur is trying to tell them to do, so they're kind of spread out as it's trying to sort of get its wits about it. So again, a really adorable look to the figure, to the sculpt, and all of the paintwork as well is just gorgeous throughout. There's a lot of really nice, very subtle paint application. All of the transitions back and forth through the course of the figure, really smooth, very lifelike and realistic. And then, of course, the blue stripes, sort of replicating a Velociraptor Blue or Beta type of a figure, also looks really good. And something like that stripe, I feel like that stripe would be easy to make it look bad and look more like paint on a figure, whereas this actually looks like body color quite nicely. So just like I said in the end of the Dilophosaurus review, if you are interested in some of these, make sure you check out the social media accounts of Fiona of Prismatic Brush Art, and of course follow them, and definitely subscribe to the Prismatic Brush Art YouTube channel, not only to watch her incredibly cool videos where she creates all of these different dinosaur figures, but also because she is going to be doing some giveaways for Jurassic June. And speaking of giveaways, if you hadn't seen, after the Dilophosaurus review, that same day I had announced that there was a collaboration giveaway here between my channel as well as, again, the Prismatic Brush Art YouTube channel. So if you are interested in potentially winning one of these, you can just go ahead on over to that video. Actually, I will include a link to that video here at the end of this video and a link in the description to the giveaway video. And you just have to follow along with the guidelines and instructions on that video and enter yourself into the giveaway to potentially win one of these incredible models from Fiona. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you, again, follow the social media accounts and YouTube channel of Prismatic Brush Art. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.